Thank you, thank you. All right, now let me welcome you all. My name is Ian Scarf. If you haven't yet met me, I am the founder and director of the Trinity Alps Chamber Music Festival. This festival started in 2011, 10 years ago, almost exactly 10 years ago. I was planning the first trip to the beautiful Trinity Alps of Northern California. And since then, we have had quite a wild ride, done hundreds of concerts. Many of them, like today's concert, have been essentially free and open to the public. And the flip side of that is that we do a moment in the program where we just talk about our mission and our values as a musical organization and ask you to make a donation. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't mean to spill the beans on all that just yet. Mostly because today I'm just excited to introduce you to two of my wonderful colleagues who are going to be performing the entire program. Alison Lee on piano and Isaac Pastor-Chermak on cello. These two not only are going to be playing the whole program, but they are going to be playing a whole concert featuring music by one composer. And not only are they going to be playing a whole program of music by one composer, but they're only playing two pieces. These are two great masterpieces by the great Johannes Brahms, one of the big figures of the Romantic era. He wrote two sonatas for cello and piano. They're among his greatest and most beloved pieces, and they're among some of the best pieces, I think, for cello and piano. So I'm very excited for this program, and I'm excited to introduce you to my two colleagues, Allison and Isaac. All right, I've put the spotlight on you guys. Now, would you mind taking the microphone as well and perhaps introducing yourselves, telling us, your favorite three-sentence biography or your latest adventures or, any eccentric hobbies you may have? Go
Oh
ahead.
Lord, oh boy. Well, thanks, Ian. It's great to see everybody out there in the ether on the internet. We are, Allison and I are really pleased to be here tonight, and we really appreciate Ian getting in touch with us a couple weeks ago, saying, "Hey guys, I saw you've been playing the Brahms cello sonatas. Do you want to do it for Trinity Alps?" And of course, we jumped at the opportunity. We live in Berkeley, California, across the water from San Francisco. Just bought a house a month ago in Berkeley. The house does not have a piano in it yet.
Oh,
So we are coming to you from Allison's parents' house in Fremont, California, right like an hour south of Berkeley. That's the short version of us. I think we're getting married in July. We've been playing together since before we were dating, actually. Our third date, Allison told me we're going to play Schumann Fantasy Pieces, Debussy Sonata, and Beethoven A Major Sonata. It's the only date I've practiced for. So 6 years later, we're getting married. So it worked out. That's the kind of short version of who we are, I think. Did I miss anything?
Eccentric hobbies.
Oh, geez, eccentric hobbies. Right now, a lot of home improvement, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we really like going outside. We really like visiting national parks. So we're getting married in Glacier National Park.
In
oh,
Montana.
that
Yeah.
sounds so nice. Well, congratulations. That's just wonderful news. I want to also mention to our audience that, last year in the sort of height of the pandemic, when so many musicians were trying to adapt their careers to this new reality of teaching lessons online and, trying to give performances through Zoom and trying their best to record all of the music we've been practicing so we have other ways to put this out. During this time, the music festival, the Trinity Alps Festival, started a grant program where young musicians could apply for financial assistance to help them get the technology and the resources to do all of this. It's not easy and it's not free to have your own sort of home studio with cameras and microphones and the right internet setup and the knowledge to do all this software. So that was kind of the goal behind last year's program, the Adapting Musical Careers Grant. And Isaac and Allison were two of the applicants, and they were two of the people who were rewarded with some grant money to help upgrade their sort of live stream and their recording setup. So I trust it's gotten some use, and gosh, if not, it's about to get some use now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be playing today?
All right. So, as Ian said, today's program is entirely Brahms and only two pieces. Um, I did notice, Ian, that you mentioned that they are called the two sonatas for cello and piano, which is the official name for them because, as you'll see, both the pianist and the cellist have equally busy, equally difficult parts. So you'll see us sweating a little bit. Um, and so I'll just talk a little bit about the first sonata in E minor. This was written between the years of 1862 to 1865. Brahms was nearing 30 years old, still unable to grow his famous beard, very, very beautiful hair up here, no hair down here yet. Um, and so this piece is just pretty traditional in terms of the sonata form. You have three movements. The first movement being Allegro non troppo. The second movement is a minuet and trio, and the third movement is a fugue. So I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. I mean, one reason why I love Brahms and why I think everyone loves Brahms, as Isaac is changing his microphone, is that, Brahms is a composer who gives everybody a good part to play. So, as you listen to this, I encourage you to listen to how Brahms makes everything into a conversation. Everything you hear is going to be passed between the two instruments. So, thank you again, Allison and Isaac, and take it away. Hey, bravo!
So
Wow.
that's the easy piece on the program today.
Bravo. Wonderful. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow, I feel like we need just a moment of recovery after
Yeah.
that.
Maybe a beer, right?
Well, you said something more difficult is coming, so maybe you should hold off on the beer for now.
Indeed.
The rest of us, though, the rest of us might need it. You know, I remember, Isaac, Allison, I remember hearing uh, one of the great cellists, I think it was Fournier, talking about that piece. And he was talking about Brahms as a person. He said, you know, Brahms grew up in Hamburg, in the north of Germany, you know, a cold, industrial, northern port city. And he moved to Vienna. Of course, Vienna was the rich cultural center of Europe, you know, full of dance and life. And, you know, throughout his life when he was touring, Brahms' great passion was, in a way, Eastern European music. You know, some people called it gypsy music, some people called it Hungarian music, but it was that Eastern style. And what Fournier said is that sonata, that first sonata that we just played, it has all three of those parts of his life in it. The first movement is Hamburg, you know, dum dee da dee dum. You know, you can hear the gray skies of the winter of the North Sea, you know, his dreary childhood. The second movement is the waltz, that's Vienna, right? Right? That's the little dance movement. And then the third movement is the wild gypsy music that he was so fond of when he was touring in Eastern Europe. All of that swashbuckling kind of stuff. So anyway, I thought you captured all of that wonderfully. Thank you so much.
Although I want to jump in on that, Ian. It's funny, absolutely. The third movement absolutely is swashbuckling. It's Hungarian. It's in a way a little exotic for his time. But the fugue subject is lifted verbatim from the Art of Fugue by Bach.
Oh.
So here we have Bach going to Budapest or something, right?
That's even better. I love it.
Yep. Well, I think, Ian, unless you have something else on the agenda, I could introduce the next piece, but do you have other things you want to hit before we do that?
I mean, I can't wait to hear the next piece, so that's part of it. But I probably should do my duties as the director of the festival and just take a moment and remind our audience. Here, give myself a spotlight because this is important, really. I wanted to just say something to everyone, and that is, you know, artists like Isaac and Allison and like all of the musicians over the years, you know, when they play a concert for the Trinity Alps Festival, it's an act of trust. You know, they are. I explained to them that we don't charge ticket prices. We don't sell tickets at the door for our in-person concerts or for our Zoom concerts. You know, what we do is we offer these open to the public, and then we have something called a suggested donation, which is just that we suggest everyone make a donation of whatever they are comfortable with. And I think it's inspiring not only that here we are 10 years later and we are still doing concerts, perhaps more concerts than ever, and audiences are still coming, meaning that our model is working, you know, people are still attending these, but also that musicians are still willing to put this trust in the organization and in you, the audience, to sort of step up and make sure that this is an actual professional gig. You know, in order to pay people professionally, we depend on our audiences to consider what this is worth to them. And we understand that for everyone, that's going to be a different number. And for those of you who are just grateful to be here and can't afford to make a contribution right now, that's absolutely fine. You know, we believe that classical music is for everyone. For everyone else, you know, think about what is appropriate for you and go ahead and make a contribution. The easiest way to do that is to go to the Trinity Alps Chamber Music Festival website. I'll put that in the chat right now. It's also very easy to find. In fact, in order to attend this concert, you already found the website because that's how you had to register for the link. So I know you've already been there. The homepage has a little donation box. It's easy to do a credit card, but it also has our mailing address. So if you want to be old-fashioned and send a check in the mail, that is wonderful. I love opening mail at my desk. It's just it makes me feel like I have an actual human connection with people. So that is also fine. If you want, you can make a tax-deductible donation through our 501c3 sponsor. In order to do that, you have to go to the donation page. That's just a special little bonus. In any case, thank you for 2 minutes of your time, because it really is important that I say that every time, because like I said, we want to keep offering these classical music concerts all over California and the West Coast, and I suppose on Zoom it's like a worldwide thing, you know, or maybe it's even goes beyond our world. If any interstellar travelers are passing by and they can pick up the satellite Wi-Fi signal, perhaps they're hearing Brahms tonight. Who knows? In any case, I'm so grateful for everyone to be here. I know that several people have already made donations. I've seen your names come through. Thank you so much for supporting this. And know that musicians like Isaac and Alison are going to appreciate it. Okay, my job is done. Now I'm really excited to hear what the second of Brahms's sonatas could be like. How could he possibly top what he had already given us?
Oh my God! And boy, does he! Before we do, I want to jump in on what Ian was saying. Allison and I are both, we have robust careers as performers and educators. We're both also actively involved in the world of nonprofit boards and concert presentation and the business end of classical music. So really, when Ian comes to a musician or musicians like us, and he leads with, "I want to pay you guys a professional fee," not, "Oh, I'll give you this percentage of the ticket sales," or "I can give you this little bit and I hope you'll appreciate the opportunity." That is not something we take for granted in the profession. So we want all of you to know what a magnificent job Ian's doing, kind of behind the scenes, pulling the levers back there, right? And just creating good faith in the community. It goes such a long way.
Okay, thank you, Isaac. Now you're making me blush. Okay, before I go, I'll say that, at the end of our Zoom concerts, we always take some time to make this a public forum. That is to say, if anyone in the audience has questions for our performers, or questions about the music, or questions about their beautiful instruments, or questions about the juggling act that a career in music has become, save those questions, because at the end of the concert, we're going to have an open dialogue and we'll have a chance for everyone to share those. So with that, I think it's time. I think we need to hear about what we're in for next. The second sonata of Brahms.
Let's do it. So we're now going to fast forward about 25 years into Brahms's life. Still obsessed with Clara Schumann. That never changed. Brahms is now has a lot less hair up here, a lot more hair down here, a little bigger around the middle, the kind of corpulent Brahms that we're all used to seeing, represented in paintings and caricatures and whatnot. And with this, in 1886, am I reading that right? Yes, 1886, we come to the F major sonata. What's very interesting to think about, the E minor sonata you heard first on the program, Brahms wrote for an amateur cellist. The F major sonata, he very much wrote for a professional cellist. You will hear that 30 seconds in, like, oh, this is a new level of difficulty and sheer terror for us cellists. The cellist's name was Robert Hausmann, a wonderful cellist in Vienna, a friend of Brahms's. The fun fact here, Brahms also wrote the double concerto, the concerto for violin and cello for Hausmann, premiered the following year, 1887, 8, somewhere in there. So those are very much of a piece, the double concerto and the F major cello sonata. Tonight, keep your ears open. It's in 4 movements. The first, Allegro vivace. It's an absolutely, the word Alison and I use about the first movement is reckless. It is just unbuttoned, wildly abandoned. It's just phenomenal music. The second movement, Adagio Affettuoso. Now we've just ended the first movement in F major. We're now going to go to F sharp major in the second movement, a world away. Keep your ears open. We'll then continue to the third movement, the Allegro Passionato, a writhing, seething scherzo in F minor with this beautiful little trio in F major. Just the clouds open for a minute and then poof, they close. And then we finish with the fourth movement, Allegro Molto, back in F major, kind of the jolly Brahms walking through the Vienna woods, a little serenade at the end, kind of a strangely, sublimely lighthearted movement, actually, to end this monumental work. So this is the cello sonata in F major, Opus 99 by Brahms, and Alison is going to switch microphones now. Thanks, sweetie. Okay.
Yeah, bravo.
No. Oh,
That was,
okay.
that was wonderful, but there's more to come, right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hey, all right. There we go. Take a bow. Take a bow.
Okay.
Okay, my head's cut off. Hello. Oh.
Oh my God.
Wow. Wow, I love it. Wonderfully done. Wonderful. I especially love how near the end of those last movements in both sonatas, you can hear how the music just ratchets up to the faster tempo, and you think, oh, it's coming now. Ah, the end is coming.
Yeah.
Well, I think Alison has a couple thank yous. Yeah?
Yeah.
Those are on your list.
Yes. So thank you all for tuning in today. Obviously, Zoom concerts are not quite the same experience as in person, but we're still really happy to be able to share incredible music with you today. Thank you again to Ian for hosting and for calling us up. We're really happy to be back. And we'd also like to thank Trinity Alps Chamber Music Festival's Adapting Musical Careers Grant for helping us purchase our microphone.
Which we are using tonight.
Yes, so we really appreciate it. It's a real upgrade from what we had before. And finally, I would like to thank our page turner, Karina, for helping me survive this piece.
Further, we obviously it wouldn't be a concert without the artists hustling their CDs. One of the big COVID projects that Alison and I did in 2020 was our debut CD. It's called Preludes and Prologues, and it has music of Schumann, the Fantasy Pieces, Opus 73, music by Debussy, the Cello Sonata, music by Beethoven, the Cello Sonata No. 2 in G minor, and music by Gershwin, a really cool, fresh arrangement of the three preludes. Funny story about the Gershwin, this recording actually became street legal on January 1st of this year when the Gershwin three preludes entered public domain. So both the arrangement that we played and the recording that we did were done without the permission of the Gershwin estate. Totally illegal. They could have dragged us into court. But now this Gershwin is street legal. You can get the CD on my website, isaacpastor-Chermak.com. You can also get a digital download if you don't have a CD player on Alison's website, AlisonThePianist.com. Alison wants me to show it up close. It's very nice. Has a nice picture of us.
Designed by Isaac.
Designed by me. So I do recommend it. It's a nice album. And finally, we'd love to keep in touch with everyone here tonight. We both have little, mailing lists where we tell our friends about our concerts. You can sign up for those on our websites. Just Google. It's easier than, you can find us on the
I
internet.
put it in the chat.
And exactly. Well said. Actually, I'm a step ahead of you, Alison. I've already put in the chat a link to buy Isaac and Alison's CD, which I have a copy of. It's wonderful. Also, I put a link to Alison the Pianist /store, which is that's just a great website right there. I wish there was an Ian the Pianist /store. That would be great. But anyway, if anyone is interested in hearing more music from these wonderful folks, you can do that. You can click on those links, or like Isaac said, you can use the Google. In any case, here I'm going to put myself back on the spotlight. Thank you, Alison. Thank you, Isaac. That was just so wonderful, and I appreciate the shout out. I'm so glad that the music festival could help with that grant money to finance the new microphone. Also, if you had told me that you'd use some of the grant money to purchase those new socks you're wearing, I wouldn't be disappointed. Those are fantastic. Well done. Now, anyway, as promised, we have come to the conclusion of our musical broadcast for today. But I wanted to open the floor and say, just if anyone has any comments, any Any comments just for Isaac and Allison? Any questions about the music, about anything else? Let's take some time and just have an open forum. After all, we are all on Zoom together. It's almost like we're in the same room together, enjoying casual classical chamber music as it should be. So I'll just open the floor. If anyone would like to, you're welcome to speak up, unmute yourself, or you can type something into the chat as you wish.
Can I ask, Ian, can I ask a question of Allison?
Absolutely. My friend Chauncey, nice to see you. Welcome,
Good to
Chauncey.
see you again, Ian. The second movement of the F major was in F sharp major. I mean, there's a lot of flats in that thing. Does that make it difficult to play on the piano?
It's not too bad. I think my students would say otherwise. But you get used to it. It's just you turn everything into a black key.
What about on the cello? Is it hard to play in F sharp major on the cello?
The slow movement goes to so many different places key-wise. I mean, yeah, it starts and ends in F sharp major, but it goes everywhere else. It's fairly nightmarish. I would say even more than that, the scherzo actually is just hellacious. It's just so damn hard to play. I thought it went decently well tonight, but there's a lot of like, oh my God, the hand goes here, then the hand goes here, then the hand goes here, then the hand goes here, and how do I make those happen fast enough, right?
Wow. I'll tack on my own answer. Chauncey, Chauncey asked about playing in the key of F sharp major, which, if you're looking at a piano keyboard, you have the white keys and you have the black keys, right? And in F sharp major, you're using all of the black keys. So you're always navigating between which note do I play, right? And I have to say, this last year I learned a great piece by Chopin called the Barca Roll, and it's also in F sharp major. And I found that under my hand, the way that it feels to play on the black keys is actually pretty comfortable. So I would say, Chauncey, when you're learning a piece of music in F sharp major, the first stage where you have to read the music and it's all ink on the page, sharps and flats and naturals, and it's kind of overwhelming. That part is rather challenging. The learning curve is steep. But then once you have a feeling for the music, the way that the hand can the thumb plays the white notes and the fingers play the black notes, that's a very natural hand position. So personally, I found it kind of comforting to play in F sharp major after I had learned music. I don't know, Allison, do you have a similar experience?
Well, learning that piece, the Barca Roll, is so hard. Oh my God. Because it goes quickly and it's all chords. So that was really hard. And I unfortunately never got comfortable playing it. So.
Well, everyone has a different experience. I mean, that's one reason why music is so wonderful, because everyone has a different experience from the beginning to the end. Anyway, thank you, Chauncey. What a wonderful question. Does anyone else like to chime in, offer some praise, some questions, some comments? I see our friend Peter is there. Peter, you're chuckling, but you may not have anything else to add.
I just was so impressed at how they went through this piece. It's just so amazing. The talent and workmanship was just unbelievable. I just in awe. So.
Yeah, very well said. I also see a few comments. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm totally in awe too. And for shifting from F to F sharp and then back to F, I think that would just totally mess with my head. Never mind my fingers, just especially going back to F, that just seems like shifting the universe 3 feet to the left, it's just weird. I don't even know why he did it, but, Brahms was a bit of a prankster anyway. So, but I really, really appreciate the way you two play together. I think I put in the chat, the rapport between you two is astonishing.
Oh boy. Thank you.
Here. Thank you, Elizabeth. Also from the chat, we have a few friends, including our Louise Kogan saying it was a very successful Zoom concert. Thank you all. Our friend Peter Getz is saying thank you for your beautiful playing, and of course, Mr. Derek saying beautiful concert. And then our friends John and Pam are here. They had their hand up so respectfully. Thank you very much. What's up, John?
Well, this is a non-musician's question, but is that cello, I'll call it skinnier than some? It seemed just from the width of it looked narrower than some I've seen. I don't know.
It is. It's, I haven't actually, wait, you didn't know this?
No.
No, you totally knew this.
No, I didn't.
No, I know I've told you this.
I didn't know this either. Wow.
You weren't listening. Great.
So of course the non-musician question took us by surprise.
Yes, well spotted. It's a little narrower than a standard full-size cello. It also looks tiny because I'm 6'4" and gangly.
Okay, I wondered if you weren't a tall fellow. But.
Right. So any cello looks small on me, but that is well spotted. It's a little narrow. I think it's a little narrower and a little shorter. I mean, if you measured it size-wise, you might call it a 15/16 size or something. There's some natural variance in all string instruments, right? This one is on the kind of 25th percentile or lower of size, I guess. Yeah.
How interesting. Can you tell us anything else about your cello?
Sure. The cello was made by Riccardo Antoniazzi in Milan in 1889.
Wow.
1889. Brahms was still alive and writing music.
Yeah, I mean, this Brahms was very much still alive. He died in 92, 93, I think.
Mm-hmm.
92. Yeah. That's my instrument. I love it very much. It's
great, wonderful. Would anyone else like to offer a little congratulations or a question or anything?
Perfect.
Wonderful. I see from our friends in the chat, from Lynn and Ken Rice, much thanks. Thank you for that. Thank you. I see our friends Kent and Marie Jose are tuning in from their place.
Have you always played the cello that way? The current cello?
Yes. Your current instrument, is that your permanent cello?
very much, yes. You start out with a little kiddie cello, right? And I had one, and then I cycled through a few, and I was lucky to have a few instruments loaned to me early in my career, and eventually I went to Roland Feller in San Francisco, one of the premier makers and craftsmen in the Western United States, and I said, "Hey, Roland, I want to buy a cello." And he trotted a few out for me, and I played them, and I played this one for like 3 minutes, and I said, "Okay, let me write you a check." And this was maybe 5 or so years ago. This was shortly after we started dating, actually. The funny story here, we were just telling a friend this week, the very first concert we played, or the very first concert that I played on my cello, was a performance of the complete Beethoven sonatas with Alison, of all 5 Beethoven sonatas. Yeah, no pressure, right?
Wow, big concert.
Wow.
Big concert.
Well, fantastic. Let's see, we are nearing the end of our gathering today. I see a couple other things from our chat. Randall and Kathy enjoyed it from 2 different towns, 2 different states, in fact. Nice of them to tune in from multiple locations, and I guess you could call it a date night. They both attended the same concert despite being in separate states. Hey, why not? Let's see. Does anyone else want to chime in with anything before we close out here? Well, if not, then I suppose I should say a final thank you to everyone for joining us, for making another wonderful, successful concert. A special thank you to our guests tonight, Alison and Isaac, And I think just a nice way to go off, you know, after all, we're recording this, right? So at the end of the recording has to be what? It has to be applause. So if you don't mind, please everyone unmute and applaud into your microphone. Well done. We did it. Thank you, everyone, and good night. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Take care.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.